Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. As you can see, I am here on MassonSports.com. This picture kind of says it all, doesn't it? I will go over that later when I get to the articles. Let's get to the games. First series of the year for the Baltimore Orioles. They are up in Toronto in a 4-game set against Toronto Blue Jays. Split the series. Had a chance, really, in the final game to win the series. The second game kind of got blown out, much like they blew out the Blue Jays here on opening day. Baltimore Orioles 12, Toronto Blue Jays 2. For the most part, scoring was relatively spread out throughout the game. Not really throughout the lineup. Let's see here. Kowser, Ofer did walk once though. Rutschman 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Westberg 2 hits and RBI, also walked once. Mateo comes in, defensive replacement late. Does not get it at bat. Uhern does get a hit, which is nice. He needs to get going. At least one of them does. Between him and Mountcastle, somebody needs to get going. Because as far as I'm concerned, that is where we are seeing the least amount of offensive production compared to what we should be seeing for first baseman / DH type players. Tyler O'Neill, the new guy, extending his opening day home run record to 6 straight. 3 hits, 3 RBIs, also walked twice. Kjerstad does come in for defensive replacement late. It is what it is. Still want Kjerstad to be an outfielder. I mean, he's got a hell of an arm. I'll give him that. He sure as hell throws like a right fielder. Does he track balls or field ground balls in the outfield like a good enough outfielder? As far as I'm concerned, no. Though to a certain extent, his arm will make up for it on some occasions. We did see that in action this series. Mountcastle 1 hit, 2 strikeouts though. Mullins 3 hits, 5 RBIs. Yeah, Mullins getting going. Definitely good to get Mullins going early. Arias, Ofer, though he did walk once. Happens. Holiday does get a hit. Yeah, Holiday starting the year in a starting defense and offense because of the Gunnar Henderson injury. When Gunnar Henderson comes back, who goes away? Between Holiday, Mateo, and Arias, who do you pick? Sadly, I think it does have to be Holiday because he's really the only one with options. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Because otherwise you risk losing Mateo or Arias. Don't really want that. So what's great is we don't have to wait how long to get Holiday's first hit of the year. Got that out of the way early. Though he did strike out twice. Mountcastle with a double, Mullins with 2, and Rutschman also with 2 home runs, O'Neill with just the 1 home run, and Westberg, not to be outdone, homering as well. At this point, we had still not gotten our first stolen base of the year because Mullins caught stealing. Disappointing, but somewhat of a close play. It was a really nice throw by Kirk. Alejandro Kirk for the Toronto Blue Jays. A fairly good catcher. Probably the most underrated catcher, I think. Zach Eflin getting the start here. Opening day starter goes 6 full innings. Only gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk. Strikes out 2. He's not a huge strikeout guy. He is more of a contact dude. Worked out perfectly for him on this day. Sir Anthony Dominguez comes in relief of Eflin. Dominguez is, I would say, a little shaky to start the season. Definitely seemed to be pulling a lot of his pitches to the left. think to a certain extent, some of it is because, for whatever reason, this pitching staff or the pitching coaches are teaching a lot of guys to slurve. And I don't know why. I feel like it brings a lot of stress on the elbow, just like a slider does. So to a certain extent, it's maybe not even that he's just pulling a ball. He's not aiming his slurve-ish type pitch correctly. Which could be more what it is. But we'll see. He didn't give up any runs, but he did allow a hit and 2 walks. Which is not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. It's not. Keegan Aiken in relief of Dominguez. Doesn't give up a hit or a run. I'm sorry. Dominguez, as I said, I did say Dominguez didn't give up a run. Aiken. No hits, no runs, which is great. Walks 2. Not a good way to start off the year, bullpen. Holy shit. 2 innings pitched and you're giving up 1 hit and 4 walks. Somehow, you didn't give up any runs. Luck, I guess. I mean, that's just sheer luck. You don't give up 4 walks and a hit in 2 innings and give up no runs without some kind of luck there. Baker turns it around in the 9th for the bullpen. Yeah, he does give up a hit, but no runs, no walks, strikes out 1. Brian Baker starting the year on a roster because... Who did he get the job because? Somebody, Kittredge, I know Kittredge on the IL... Rodriguez on the IL. I feel like there was somebody specific. I can't remember right now, but whatever. Game 2. Baltimore Orioles 2. Toronto Blue Jays 8. Big problems here in the 4th inning. Yeah. Chucking the ball around the infield like a bunch of idiots. What's what happens when Gunnar Henderson starts the year on the injured list? Yeah, spoiler alert, the person playing shortstop was the one made the big error here. Not that there weren't runs scoring anyway. And not that Gunnar Henderson doesn't throw the ball around the infield like a wild man either. Cowser 0 for 2 strikeouts. Rutschman 0 for, though he did walk twice. Westberg 0 for. O'Hearn, he only hit for the top 6 in the lineup. Top 7 in the lineup. 1 hit, and that was O'Hearn. O'Neill 0 for, though he did have an RBI. Mullins 0 for, though he did walk once. Mountcastle 0 for. Holiday 2 hits. I'm sorry. What? All you other idiots aren't hitting the ball. 3 hits total, and Holiday hit 2 of them? What? I mean, did y'all get drunk after opening day because you kicked the shit out of the Blue Jays? You came to the ballpark hungover. Jackson Holiday was able to hit the ball twice, including 1 home run. And the rest of your entire lineup got 1 hit. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it'd be different if it was like Adley Rutschman or Gunnar Henderson. Maybe even Westberg. But the fact that it was Holiday that was getting the hits and the rest of you idiots couldn't get a hit, it's weird. It's weird. So yeah, Holiday, 2 hits and an RBI, and Mateo over, not able to make up for his throwing errors that allowed runs to score. As mentioned, Holiday home run, the only extra base hit. Yeah, 2 throwing errors, Mateo and Rutschman. Rutschman technically was able to make up for his error. Springer singled, and then Springer stole second, and was able to get to third base on a throwing error by Adley Rutschman. But what's the end of the inning, right? Back picks Springer at third base, gets it. I mean, that's how you make up for an error, right? Mateo was off a single, and then they threw the ball back into the infield. Mateo gets it, and he just uncorks his throw to first base. Like he's going to get somebody over there going back to first base, and ends up throwing it in a dugout. So yeah, on Santander's single, it would have Bichette on third and Santander on first. I think it was Bichette, yeah. Bichette ends up scoring and Santander goes to third. That's why when you can't do that. You can't just because you're a shortstop and you get the ball in your hand, you can't just throw the first. You can't. You need to make the right decision, because if it goes into the wrong spot over there, the all runners, not just the runner, all runners get 2 bases. You can't just throw the ball. Stupid. I mean, what are you teaching these people? Apparently, you're teaching them wrong. Because not only does Gunnar do it, now you got Mateo doing it. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't take bad infield play or bad infield decisions lightly here in Baltimore. We don't. Especially when Cal Ripken partially owns the team. Cal Ripken Jr., I'm sorry. Charlie Morton gets a start here, game 2. Wow. Okay, it's only one game. First start of the year. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. I'm not impressed with Charlie Morton at all. Goes 3 1/3 of an inning, gives up 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, walks 1, that's good, sure. Strikes out 3, which I guess is technically fine. The 7 hits and the 4 runs in 3 innings is not good. It's terrible. We gave this guy $15 million. That's what we get. You couldn't have found somebody else. I don't get that. Why would yeah. Whatever. Hell, I'd rather them go and get no veteran starting pitcher and re-sign Santander. Yeah, I don't care. We could use another outfielder right now. Cowser, you stupid ass. But no, you wanted to not pay Cowser. You wanted to pay O'Neill, which to a certain extent is Tyler O'Neill an improvement in the outfield. As far as speed, yes. As far as arm strength, about the same. I don't think he's better or worse. Yeah, I mean, I really don't think one is necessarily better or worse than the other at this point. I mean, yeah, is O'Neill a little fast? Sure, I think O'Neill's a little faster. But you know what? Santander could play first base. I've seen him play first base. Might help improve that area. Maybe I'm just too disappointed that they let Santander go. Whatever. Yeah, bad outing by Morton. Oh, and then here comes Albert Suarez. Like when it rains, it pours, because here's Albert Suarez throwing 2 wild pitches. Dickhead, you got runners on base. Can you not throw wild pitches? Apparently not. To a certain extent, I feel like at least one of them, Rutschman should have been able to block. I understand it's hard to come out of your crouch as a catcher, but again, with runners on base, you gotta get the ball. You gotta block that ball. Suarez bouncing it in front of home plate, and I swear that they bounced up maybe 3 feet high off the ground by the time it got to Rutschman. Yeah, it was probably 2 feet to Rutschman's right. He almost got it. I feel like, man, you got to be a little quicker than that. I feel like you should have been able to get that ball. Maybe if you're not sitting on your ass while you're out there catching. Or what's the stupid trend that they like doing? Instead of being in that squat position, they like to be almost doing a split, holding up their side. Some catchers do. Rutschman usually doesn't. But the way they sit on they're taking a knee back there. I feel like it's a little slower to get up out of that. Well, that's what happens. Okay. Suarez 2 2/3 does give up 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, no walks, strikes out 2. Cionel Perez in after Suarez. Does not fare that much better. Does go the full 7th inning. Gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Walks 2, strikes out 1. Gregory Soto, the somewhat surprise outing. It was weird seeing the first 3-4 outings Gregory Soto had. It is Gregory, right? What the hell is his name? Yes, it is Gregory. Last year when the Orioles acquired him at around the trade deadline, he kind of turned it around after a few weeks. And then to see this on a day where not only is the starting pitcher doing terrible, but the bullpen's pitching terribly. Now he did end up hitting Bichette, which sucks, but oh well. It happens. Bichette was able to continue playing and all that, so it's fine. Pitching the full 8th inning, the last inning the Orioles had to pitch because they were on the road and they lost. No hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Huh. Maybe he sees the closing job up for grabs and wants to try to take it. Game 3, this is Saturday's game. Baltimore Orioles 9, Toronto Blue Jays 5. We're actually losing for some part of... Well, actually, not that much. Orioles scored 2 in the first, then let the Blue Jays score 2, which is awful. And the Blue Jays got 2 more in the third. Then the next half inning, the Orioles were able to put up a 4 spot, which is nice. You don't really like that, let's say here in the 5th, when the Orioles score 2, they allowed Toronto to get 1. Or I should say they allowed the Blue Jays. The Orioles allowed the Blue Jays, not the Orioles allowed Toronto. The Orioles allowed the Blue Jays to score 1 more, but it does happen, I guess. Cowser hitting RBI. Rutschman with 1 hit. Rutschman DHing in this game. I said I don't want to see this. And what does Brandon Hyde do? He does it. First chance he gets. And something Brandon Hyde mentioned in one of his post-game press conferences is having 4 straight games on turf to start the year. Not a good thing for guys' lower halves. Okay. O'Hearn with 2 hits. Mountcastle defensive replacement late. Did not get in at bat. Westberg 4 hits, 2 RBIs. Mullins a hit and an RBI. Kerstad did not get a hit, but did get an RBI in this, so there's that. Ramon Laureano, defensive replacement late, did not get in at bat. Gary Sanchez, not get a hit yet anyway, but RBI. So that's just as good, really. Holiday, no hit here or an RBI, but he does work a walk, so you like seeing that. And Arias here, finally, somebody coming through with runners in scoring position, which almost never happens in this lineup. Here's Arias, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. O'Hearn, Arias, Rutschman with doubles, Westberg 2, and Cowser with 1 home run. Stolen base finally, the first stolen base of the year, Cedric Mullins. Yay! Or at least, for the Orioles, first stolen base of the year. Dean Kramer gets to start in this game. I think there was some confusion or toss-up action of who would be for the third start. Some people thought Sagano, some people thought Kramer. Well, I thought Kramer, and it turned out to be Kramer. How about that? Not the greatest outing we've ever seen Dean Kramer have, but we won the game. Kramer goes 5 1/3, gives up 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, walks 2, strikes out 6. I mean, you like the 6 strikeouts. You can deal with the 2 walks. I don't think that's too bad there. I mean, maybe you'd like to give up 1 or less hits, Didn't happen. Very disappointing. Yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays have somewhat of a tough lineup. Hell, they had somewhat of a tough lineup last year before they added Santander. Now that they added Santander, it's a little tougher lineup. I mean, you got Bichette, Guerrero Jr., Santander to start your top three. Definitely a better top three than the Orioles can put out, at least at this moment. We'll see when Henderson comes back. Aiken on in relief of Kramer to finish out the 6th inning. Does give up a hit, but gets the last 2 outs of the inning. No runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. That's good. Cano, a little shakier than I like to see my Cano, but he got through it. You get through the 7th inning without giving up a run and striking out 2, you're fine. He does give up a hit, but as I said, no runs and also no walks. Gregory Soto in for the 8th inning. Did not go as well as his last outing. Only able to get 1 out before he walks 2. Or, I don't remember if he got the out first or not. It doesn't really matter. He only got 1 out, faced 3 batters. No hits, no runs. Again, the 2 walks with a 1 strikeout, so that's fine. So Anthony Dominguez on to finish out that 8th inning. Does get the final 2 outs. No hits, no runs, no walks. Looked a lot better in this outing. A lot better. 1 strikeout. And here you see the 9th. I'm sure everybody's trying to stick it to the angry Ryno here. And I'll say, pump your brakes, kid. He also gave up a hit and a walk. Yeah, Felix Bautista. First game action since, hell, when was it? August of 2023? It's terrible mismanagement by this organization and their pitchers. There's no reason why a closing pitcher takes a year and a half to be in doubt whether they'll be able to come back or not. Yeah, whatever. Felix Bautista pitching the full 9th inning. Not a safe situation. Does give up a hit, no runs. Does walk 1, strikes out 3. Who did he face? I feel like he didn't face that many good hitters. I mean, Bichette got a hit off him. I'm pretty sure it was Bichette. Nathan Lukes, Bo Bichette double. Vladimir Guerrero strikeout. Santander walk. Jimenez strikes out. Makes sense to me. The 2 best hitters in there, he didn't strike out. Bo Bichette doubling. Santander, that's not good. Whatever. I mean, but again, it does make sense. Guerrero, I mean, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. swings kind of just like his daddy. Free swinger. Now, he can get to a lot of pitches and do a lot of damage with them, but if you get your splitter going, Mr. Felix Bautista, you're going to have him swing and miss a lot. More wild pitches. Kramer here, wild pitch. I think I'm going to have to pay attention to this because I feel like Adil Rutschman should be blocking some more of these, but whatever. Game 4, as I mentioned, the 4-game set here. Baltimore Orioles 1, Toronto Blue Jays 3. 3 runs. 3 of the 4 total runs were scored in the first inning. Orioles with 1 in their half, and Blue Jays, of course, with 2. Yeah. Good job, dickheads. Cowser with a hit. Sanchez ended up pinch hitting late because Cowser was unable to hit. I'm somewhat impressed with the, if that's the right word, with the at-bat that Sanchez put up. Didn't really look like there was a whole lot that was going to happen there because he ended up being the last out. But he battled. I mean, yeah, it says strikeout here, but it's not like he struck out on 3 pitches. He saw like 9 pitches in the at bat. So I don't know whether he'll get the hits or not, but early indications are he's going to have smart-ish at-bats. Whether we always get the outcome that we want, probably not. But it doesn't look like Gary Sanchez is going to be giving away at-bats. At least be thankful for that. Rutschman with a hit, O'Hearn with 2 hits and a walk, and then gets pinch hit for late in the game, Ramon Laureano. Well, of course, now O'Hearn's a left-handed hitter. Obviously, Ramon Laureano is a right-handed hitter, and Brandon Hyde wanted Ramon Laureano, who's not had an at-bat all year, to pinch hit in a big moment. Try to spark the comeback. Because that's how you're going to do it. Excuse me. The guy that's had the best outing at the plate so far, 2 hits and a walk, that's who you pinch hit for. Well, it's a versus righty. That's how you do it. Come on, man. O'Hearn, compared to the rest of the lineup, O'Hearn was on fire yesterday. Why are you pinch hitting for him? Because I wanted a right-handed batter in there. Worked out real nice for you, didn't it? Good job. Just because you can pinch hit doesn't mean you should. O'Hearn will never be able to hit a left-handed pitcher if you never let him face left-handed pitching. O'Neill with a hit, Mullins with a hit, Mountcastle with a hit, Holiday with a hit, Arias with a hit. It's a shame all these dickheads couldn't get their hits back to back to back to back. Of course. Because you can see O'Neill, Mullins, Mountcastle, Holiday, Arias all with hits, but all with no RBIs. And in fact, Jackson Holiday here, 3 strikeouts. Arias did have a walk here. Mateo, over. Heston Kjerstad pinch hit late. I understand that. Mateo's sitting up there going over. Not that Kjerstad has done so much this year, but at the same time, Kjerstad has gotten into more games. Not only gotten in the game for defensive replacement, which didn't make a whole lot of sense, but you're blowing people out and you want to get them into a game and get them warmed up. Get the first action of the year jitters out of the way. Get the blood pumping more. Get the blood flowing as an in-game action, blood flow and heart rate and all that shit. Kjerstad already had it. I feel like if one of the two between Laureano and Kjerstad, who's going to come through for me? I would have picked Kjerstad. I would not have picked Laureano. You got to get him into the whole game first, which you could have done at some point in a 4-game series, but you didn't. Okay. Cool. Good job. Only extra base hit, Ryno Hearn. 1 extra base hit the whole day. That's the guy you pinch hit for late in the game. Holiday with a stolen base. Yeah, good job, kid. Oh, look, Mateo, another throwing error. Maybe it'll be Mateo going. Tomoyuki Sagano, the most recent, I guess I want to say high-profile Japanese player to come to the Major League Baseball. And he came to the Baltimore Orioles. Holy shit. This is shocking. Of course, it was a 1-year deal. I'm sure the Dodgers or somebody out west will pay him $250,000 million next year and he'll be gone. Because that's how it works. Only able to go 4 innings. Not the greatest outcome. Did try to go out for the 5th, but ended up having cramps in both hands. Which, not something I've heard of actually happening, but apparently It's something that has actually happened before. Okay. Whatever you say. Gives up 4 hits, which isn't terrible. I mean, the Japanese game and the American game of baseball, different. Very different. So, considering that he gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 2, struck out 1 in his first 4 innings in Major League Baseball, I'm not too worried. I mean, I would have definitely liked it to be a little better, but at the same time, I'm willing to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt, and we'll see what happens next time. Again, pregame, maybe not pregame, game 1 jitters. It's obviously going to be a thing. I just have to see going forward, especially keep an eye on what's going on with his hands. Matt Bowman recently called up because Suarez on the injured list. Pitches 1 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Well, there you go. Cianel Perez, in relief of Matt Bowman, pitches 2/3 of an inning. Sadly, his homerless inning streak is out the window. Gives up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, the home run. No walks, no strikeouts. Brian Baker, in relief of Perez, 1 2/3 of an inning pitched. Does give up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Huh. Well, how about that? Pitching was there. Pitching was there. As far as I'm concerned, the defense and the timely hitting was not there. If they didn't power the ball out to the outfield over the wall, the Orioles just having a tough time scoring runs. That's been their problem for a while, and it will continue to be their problem until Mike Elias and Brandon Hyde and their hitting instructors decide to get off their ass and do something about it. So whatever. 2-game split, it's fine. Article written by Rock Kabako here a few days ago, talking about Grayson Rodriguez. He has begun throwing, so as of right now, he's not off the roster because he is currently injured. It's because he needs to get his arm back up going again. Doing some kind of throwing technique called a short box, where the catcher, instead of being, let's say, behind a plate at 60 feet 6 inches, something like that, he is less than that. They call it short box. I'm like, okay, cool. Next article here, also by Rock Kabako. Suarez, injured list. Shoulder inflammation. Cool. Another pitcher injured. Huh. Matt Bowman brought up. Talking about, here's where you find out about the cramping in both hands for Sagano. Also, article over here written by Rock Kabatko. And mentioning also in this article that Sagano has dealt with this in Japan, which is weird. I swear, I don't think I've ever heard of somebody's hand cramping, but I get it. Okay, it's a thing. I kind of thought it was a blister watching the game, because I kept kind of looking at his hands. So I'm thinking, it's a slightly different ball. I mean, a baseball is a baseball, I get that, but it's a little different. So is it possible that changing to the new American ball caused blisters on your fingers because you're just not used to the same exact grip type or material or whatnot? Possible. It happens here in Major League Baseball. But no, it's they're saying cramping in both hands. Both hands. But, okay. I mean, you kind of get the one because, with how you're manipulating your hand and your fingers around a baseball, but it's weird that, your glove hand would too, but it's okay. And here, full circle to the initial picture of the video. Cowser placed on the injured list. 6 to 8 weeks. Fractured thumb? Fractured thumb. Diving into first base like an idiot. As of, not diving back to first base. Running down the first baseline after he hit the ball, diving into the base. 6 to 8 weeks. Dylan Carlson recalled from AAA Norfolk. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the Angry Ryno focuses too much on the negative. Some of the shit that I've seen these guys do this series, stupid. That's my word for the whole series. Stupid. Stupid. Mateo, stupid. Cowser, stupid. Brandon Hyde, stupid. You took O'Hearn out. You pinched Laureano for O'Hearn. What? You only get more pinch hits than everybody else in the league because you pinch hit so damn much. Whatever. Let's get to the schedule. Upcoming games. Today, Monday, 2:35. Yes, the game was moved up because impending inclement weather. Wednesday's game, 6:35. Thursday's game, 1:05. This series with the Boston Red Sox. Opening series for Camden Yards. So that's going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Please stay tuned for Friday, next edition, and I will talk about the series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.